Hello, viewers. I'm Kyle,
I'm Kira.
and this concludes our series on Supermod Fallout. We figured it would only be fitting if the last episode depicted the credits. So here we are.
That's a great quote. We've already established that I don't know what I'm talking about, so let's not dwell on it.
Dreams slow you down.
Archbishop of babies, darling. Obsidian's gay cowgirl.
So there's an interesting thing where if you have Wild Wasteland on, you actually get a different version of the credits.
Oh, really?
Yes, where it has all these goofy quotes and stuff that they've put in.
That's great.
And purposeful spelling errors, too.
That is great.
So I figured that was definitely worth seeing. But we figured while the credits roll, we would just talk about how we felt. Now, first of all, Kira, how did you feel about the endings?
I really sad to see it end, but I think we got the best possible ending that we could have. And we put a lot of effort into that. So, yes.
Alright, well, I appreciate that. I just wanted to put everything into one video, but then it was too big, so I put everything into 2 videos.
It was amazing, though.
Yeah, we truly, I think, got the best possible ending. Like, some of it may not seem super great, but that's part of what makes, I think, Fallout New Vegas such a great game. There's not a definitive good. Good is kind of what you make of it. And so I'm really proud of what we managed to do. I haven't been home since Tuesday, my poor starving kitty.
That's so sad.
Crunch time.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I think we had a lot of adventures. We had 24 sagas of Fallout.
Yeah, that is a lot. Murdering defenseless old men is fun.
Easy Pete!
Oh my god, that could be how they tested stuff, Easy Pete.
Yeah. Quite frankly, I am going to be really sad for the series to end. It's been really enjoyable.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm glad that I got to experience the game like this, because this is the first time I've ever actually played through this whole game.
oh, really?
And yeah, and I'm really glad I got to experience it with you, and you know, I'm glad that we recorded this and got this whole experience all together.
Oh, we should have named it, how do you say that?
Sodom.
Well, I bet they would know how to spell that. That tells me that someone in the coding must have misspelled Gamora.
Maybe.
But yeah, these are called the wacky credits. You only get it if you had Wild Wasteland on.
Yeah, okay, cool. Can I make a speech check here? Because I really want to make a speech check.
That's Chris Avallone. He's one of, he and J.E. Sawyer, they're like the original creators of Fallout.
Oh, that's awesome. Vertigirl Johnson.
And, I don't know, I respect these people so much. I would really like to work for Obsidian someday.
They're good people.
But, okay, so let's talk about the game. General thoughts, we've kind of already said that. This is an amazing game.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I didn't realize how expansive and amazing this was until we, we weren't sure what was going on, so we had to check his package. His AI package. But, anyway, yeah, this is an amazing, expansive game that I'm... That's number fuck you on my list of things to do. My quantum milk machine brings every boy to all yards.
Parallel universes.
Rob, pants, or optional Smith. I really identify with that guy. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I never realized how expansive and how many small stories of different characters and stuff that there was in this game. Dead monkey. Said dead money.
But, I think that's one of the strongest things about Fallout New Vegas is they just They do such great work when it comes to the writing and the stories and the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Fallout 4 had like a lot of like different characters when it comes to their backgrounds, but they all felt cookie cutter and plastic.
Yeah, because you never really got to learn that much about them. All there was to them was what they showed you straight up.
They were single dimension.
Mm-hmm. The only characters that we really got to see more of were the companions, and even those just weren't
pretty
as
lacking.
Yeah, they weren't as extensive as the ones here in New Vegas.
In New Vegas, though, like there's so much dialogue you can do with them. Even if it's not like part of a quest, you can just kind of talk to them and get their opinions on things. And then they would often have these expansive quests. And then like Veronica would even have additional things like Elijah and her dress, things that even weren't part of her quest, but really fleshed out her personality.
And the fact that you like got to go to the Dead Money expansion and, you know, hear about her ex-girlfriend or whatever.
You know, true.
Like you get more of their backstory, I feel, than you would ever in Fallout 4. You just get more with them.
Right. And speaking of world builders, that's one great thing that New Vegas really had a lot of was world building. Like,
oh yes, the way you could just go into a place and sort of have environmental storytelling via terminals or notes or even just dead bodies and stuff like that.
But not only that, like you can tell by the world map we had in the epilogue that we can tell exactly what's going on in the world.
Oh yeah, with the factions and everything, definitely.
Yeah, it's like you know your place in the world. It's not some vague thing like, oh, I'm in a wasteland that's somehow stayed a wasteland the past 200 years. Like you are in like a Wild West between warring factions, and you know where each of these factions lies. You go the DLC areas, you can figure out everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's a story behind each of them, how they ended up the way they are.
But they wrap it up. It's consistent storytelling. I think that's what makes it great.
Mm-hmm.
Several things are referenced from the first two Fallout games.
Well, I wouldn't catch those because I've never played them.
Well, the entire concept of New California was based off of the good ending in one of the previous Fallout games, in the first Fallout game, I think.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But they built upon it and they wrote a story. Like, you know, they had Marcus, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's just so many characters and stories that are all consistent. It really builds out to the same universe. Mm-hmm. You don't really get that from the Bethesda Fallout games because they're on the other side of the country. They use that as a kind of easier way to try to make them craft their own story. So they're kind of isolated, whereas Fallout New Vegas takes place in the heart of what made the Fallout universe, the Fallout universe.
Mm-hmm.
And like you have the super mutants left over from the Master, you have New California, like even the Legion was based out of concepts that were made for the original Fallout 3 Project Van Buren that was canceled.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Old World Blues was the same way.
But yeah, that's really interesting. The way that they just built this entire world.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the reason they were able to do that is because when Obsidian got permission from Bethesda to make this game, they made sure that, I don't know if this the chronology was, but basically in Obsidian, they had the original creators of Fallout, the writers behind the first two Fallout games.
Mm-hmm. So and I think that really helped them when it came to the world building and story because it helped them keep a level of consistency that you just don't see anymore.
Oh, hey, so there was a whole bunch of thank you from my families from the different developers. Mm-hmm. Here's the cast. Matthew Perry played Benny.
Oh, yeah.
Wayne Newton. New Vegas, really? Ron Perlman, he's the war, never changes guy. Zachary Levi was Arcade.
Oh, that's cool.
Internet star.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, anyone else I recognize? Danny Trejo as Raul. He's famous.
Mm-hmm. Felicia Day! Oh my god, I know her! She's in really? Supernatural. She's a famous actress.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What's with that nickname? Okay.
She's very prominent for playing lesbians and.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, because that's Veronica. Okay. Cool.
At least I think so, because I know for a fact that she plays a lesbian character in Supernatural.
Huh.
So my perspective on her is that she often plays those characters. I wouldn't know for sure, though. So.
Tabitha is played by the same guy who plays Nikolai Belinsky.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
did not know that. Wow.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let's see, we got anyone else that we recognize? Will Wheaton did the Robo-Brain.
Oh, what? Huh.
I did not know that. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed by that, because honestly, I wasn't too much of a fan of the male Robo-Brain voice. Like, I kind of preferred the female one from Fallout 3. Makes him seem more like... Actually, the thing is, I would have rather see Will Wheaton do a more prominent role.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
But I was thinking of Vault 1 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, additional voices. So that was cool.
Yeah.
What else were we saying? Oh, New Vegas, one thing that they did far better than any of the other Fallout games, arguably even the first two, but I'm not going to go there. Meaningful decisions.
Yes, it really felt like you were having this huge impact on the world, and it really felt like your part in these character stories was a big deal, you know? And, like, even with the ending slides and stuff, like, seeing how you affect everyone was amazing. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people say they could have done better than just putting up slides and narrating everything. But I feel
there's
like...
so many.
Yeah, I feel like they did a good job with that, though.
Wait, why does it say Christine/Starlet? Who's Starlet?
I think she was just a voice on the tape that was supposed to be some starlet.
Oh, no, that's Vera. They're just calling her Starlet for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But anyway, yeah, I feel like they did a good job with the ending slides, making you feel like all your decisions throughout the game mattered. And I wouldn't mind it if they had done something different than that for the ending, but I still feel like what they did was still really good.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, the graphics aren't super great anymore. I mean, they were pretty good for their time, but now we've had some time and they've kind of aged a bit. But it doesn't matter because the story is so good and the factions and the choices you can make.
Yeah.
Old World Blues. James Urbaniak for Dr. Zero.
Who's that?
James Urbaniak?
I don't know who that is.
He's done a ton of things. He was in the Thrilling Adventure Hour.
Oh, okay, cool. But what was I gonna say? Anyway, yeah, the reason I'm mentioning that is because a lot of people do criticize the ending for, like, for example, not being able to play after the ending and, you know, just having slides up. But I think it was way better than even what they did with Fallout 4.
I will not even humor that because that's ridiculous. The reason you can't play after the ending is because after the ending you make a meaningful change to the world. Like, you can play after the ending in the other games because after you beat the ending, nothing really changes. But not in New Vegas. You make
Fallout 4 is the only one that does that.
No, Fallout 3 does it too.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dumb.
But that's because in New Vegas you make a big change. You choose a faction, and I think it would have been amazing to play after the ending, but that's a tall order to ask for, and you have to keep in mind, Bethesda only gave Obsidian 1 year, a single year, to make this entire game.
Yeah, and I think honestly a lot of the game's criticisms can be attributed to the fact that Obsidian would have done a lot better with what they had if they had more time.
Exactly.
I felt like it was really unfair of Bethesda to only give them that amount of time to make such a huge, expansive game.
Keep in mind that Bethesda claims that they had 7 years to work on Fallout 4.
Which I highly doubt.
Yeah, it was probably more like 2. or 3 maybe.
And even if they did spend all that time, I guarantee you a lot of that time was spent on redoing all the art and models and crap like that.
Yeah. Okay, we don't need to go on to some Fallout 4 though.
Yeah, okay.
Crap, what was I gonna say? Something about New Vegas and choices being rushed.
Yeah, we're talking about the rush development.
Right. I mean, you might have heard a controversy that because they didn't get enough of a Metacritic score. They actually got ripped off from their bonus.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. But yeah, like they would have done so much better if they had more time. I feel like there was cut content and a lot of ideas that they could have explored, and they totally would have, because Obsidian is amazing.
Yeah, like Ulysses was supposed to be a companion after the end of the game.
Yeah, like
Out of the DLC.
So I feel like criticisms of the game aren't really that founded, because they did the best they could, and I think they did an amazing job.
Well, I think the positives far outweigh any negatives. And because they made this game so moddable, it means people can come in and add new content, and they can fix any bugs that were released with the game.
I think the GEC was a huge thing about that. And honestly, Bethesda was famous for doing that even before New Vegas.
No, but see, they took months to release it, both with Fallout 3 and 4. With New Vegas, the GEC was released the month after the game was released.
Oh,
and I think this is why Fallout New Vegas is one of the most modded Fallout games ever. Fallout 3 did have mods, but it never got the kind of support New Vegas did. And while Fallout 4 does have mods now, the architecture kind of limits the kinds of mods you can have.
Yeah, plus the whole like Creation Club and all that crap kind of takes away from the modding community too.
Yeah, and personally, having been on the Nexus for quite a bit, I've seen a lot of those Fallout 4 mods are literally just duplicates of one another. You don't see the same kind of original content. But even if you were to argue that, New Vegas, I think, is really where that started. Maybe New Vegas and Skyrim are really where that modding scene of Bethesda's really was able to develop. Because when it comes to 3 and New Vegas, there's no reason to choose 3. New Vegas is just like better in every way.
You know what? Yes, I agree with that. And I also definitely agree with you, the whole modding thing really coming to terms with New Vegas and like Skyrim. Because before that, yeah, the tools were there, but it wasn't as extensively used, and it wasn't as huge as...
Or accessible.
Or as accessible as it turned out to be once we got to New Vegas and Skyrim.
Yeah, because those people that did that, they were experts in doing that kind of thing. Only once it was able, like, people that were guides on the internet for people to learn and whatnot, could new people join and take part.
And I definitely think... like, Skyrim is one of the most modded games out of all their games, and so is New Vegas. And so I definitely think that the modding scene just exploded once we got to this point.
Last time I checked the Nexus, actually, the 3 most modded games, like the number of mods, were Skyrim, New Vegas, and Fallout 4.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Not surprising.
Yeah. And I think they've definitely earned that.
Yes.
And I think that's what actually has contributed to Fallout's longevity, because, I liked New Vegas when I played it originally. But it's with this super modded playthrough that's gotten me to adore it and love it even more.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that we did this, because like I said, I never played through this before. I never sunk the hours in. So, like, spending this whole time doing this huge adventure and getting to every nook and cranny of the game and all the mods was amazing as a person who's experiencing all of this for the first time.
I think it's also a shame how cheap this game goes for these days. I would honestly, it's a $60 game is the standard. I would have paid $200 for this game. Because I know, the amount of hours we got of this. Do we have, 300 hours on our save file?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of hours.
And it was worth it. I mean, this game just has so much depth. It's amazing that a team could make this all in a year.
Yeah, it's incredible that people could even do that.
So yeah, okay, we've talked about story, characters, world building, meaningful decisions, reusing some of the Van Buren concepts, like Boulder Dome, for example. Yeah. We even had a mod that added that back in, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Let's see, rush development, modability. We wanted to talk about a big miss that they had was diversity.
Yeah, because although they did have some very specific instances, like arcade being...
Well, I can clear that up for you.
What?
They were very good with depicting diversity in the form of orientation. of having gay characters, both male and female, as well as characters that were bi. But when it came to race, they really missed the mark.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. The only non-white main characters or companions are Ulysses, and he didn't even get to be a companion in the main game, and Raoul, and he was a ghoul.
Yeah, seriously, ghouls make more representation than non-Caucasian characters in this game.
Yeah, and I think they should have done a better job with that, because honestly, even back then, I still think America was enough of a mix of a bunch of different races and immigrants and stuff that they could have had more people.
Well, see, that's the thing. Even if you're going to go from the argument and be like, oh, it's 1960s America, which was predominantly Caucasian. Well, no. It's not that the non-Caucasian people were just non-existent. It's that they were literally shunned from society. They still existed.
Yeah, I guess you could make the argument that it was just much easier for the Caucasian people to survive a war like that, and so, descended from that, a lot of non-Caucasian people didn't have the advantages to be able to survive. Like, for example...
No.
I doubt that a lot of non-white people were able to get into vaults.
No, because by the time 2077 rolls around, even though they have a culture still based on the 60s, the game explicitly states that they still had some sort of civil rights movement, and they managed to become equal in ethnicity. This is why slavers in the post-apocalypse don't judge based on race anymore, because they have old world slavery as opposed to America's new world slavery.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I just wasn't entirely
But I mean,
certain
in a
about
very
that.
corporate Bethesda move, they spend almost no time talking about it. And so it really wouldn't even be a discussion, except you make note or observations throughout the game. So I can't speak on Fallout 1 or 2, but let's see, Fallout 3, my memory's kind of rusty on Fallout 3, so I won't speak on it either. But I know with New Vegas, it's almost predominantly Caucasian, and it's a little noticeable.
So was Fallout 3. I remember a lot of the main characters.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
But then you have Fallout 4, which did a lot better with diversity. In one way. It's like, okay, yeah, diversity. Look, we have different ethnicities. Except they all have accents. How is that possible in post-war America?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was actually kind of offensive.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but they just were so ridiculous with Fallout 4.
Well, most video games just really don't have a good track record when it comes to this stuff. And I think the problem with New Vegas in that regard is they try to be more accepting, but in our society we have a tendency to view a 30-year-old Caucasian man, aka the courier, aka the lone wanderer, aka the sole survivor. What do you mean you had character customization system? If you look at all the trailers, it's a 30-year-old Caucasian man. We tend to view that as the default.
And so that's a problem.
Yeah, so I think when developing this game, they had a bias to just kind of make the default character Caucasian. And they were just so rushed, they never had a chance to go really and diversify. And I know this is a fact in some cases. You remember Daniel from Honest Hearts?
Yeah.
I saw that, I read something where they said how he was actually supposed to be Asian because they wanted to avoid the white savior trope when it came to the tribals and the missionaries.
Oh.
However, in a last-minute update or patch to the game to the DLC before they released it, they had actually reverted it to literally the default ethnicity setting, Caucasian, and that's why he's Caucasian in the game.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is not even just a theory; it's fact. This is literally the case, and that's why they have this problem, and it's such a shame.
It is a huge shame. I'm just gonna mention real quick that I think the best possible representation of racism that Bethesda has ever done was back when they did the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, because it was realistic racism. But I'm not gonna go on and on about it.
What about ghouls?
Well, yeah, but it's sort of like they have a reason for ghouls because they're feral ghouls, And so people are sort of afraid of that. Yeah, and I agree that's a horrible reason and stuff. But it's not like as realistic as someone literally just hating someone else because they look different, which is what they did in Morrowind.
Well, no, I mean that's true with ghouls. There's also a physiological difference. But...
Well, yeah, I know. But anyway, I'm just saying. I'm just going to mention that they did do a good job with racism in that one game.
And I would argue that when you have prejudice based on gender, there is also a physiological difference there.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
It's negligible, which is why that kind of prejudice is very harmful. But there is technically a physiological difference. And I would argue that the physiological difference between ghouls, while being more than gender, living 200 years, it's still negligible.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I just think it's interesting that, like, the only time they've even tried to do racism was back in, like, 2001. Or whenever Morrowind came out. Like, they haven't really tried to tackle that issue with as much fever as back then. Because they had slaves and stuff in that game, too.
Well, I mean... Fallout 3 actually did try to tackle that, prejudice with ghouls.
Oh, yeah, in that one. Yeah.
Not just one, there were several places in the game.
Yeah, and I understand that.
And that's actually something I think they did better than New Vegas, because in New Vegas, ghouls were rarer than they were in Fallout 3. Non-feral ghouls.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And I think part of it is because... Oh, are the credits almost over? Wow, we've been talking a while. I think I think part of it is because the New California Republic doesn't discriminate against ghouls as much, so they become more accepted and integrated into society, which is a good thing, but it means that we don't really talk about those issues.
Yeah, but I think part of it is because we're in a different area than Fallout 3. I think Fallout 3, that area is just more prejudice against ghouls than the New California Republic.
And Fallout 4 just chose not to talk about it at all. We've completed Fallout New Vegas. Okay, now there is one more thing I wanted to do with you, Kira. We just watched the credits, the wacky credits. Some of those quotes were pretty amusing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we were able to talk about this game. But we also have some companion credits we'd like to show.
All right.
Now, before we get to that, we almost got done with our list of talking about the game. And there's a few things we didn't get to talk about. What do you think? We've already kind of compared this game to the other Fallout games, but what do you think is the future of Fallout, of Fallout New Vegas, and Obsidian, and Bethesda?
To be honest, after Fallout 4, I'm not sure they're going to be able to come back from that and do anything ever as good again as they did New Vegas. I think maybe the only chance of that is them maybe remastering New Vegas or something like that.
Which would be amazing.
Yes, and you know what? That would be awesome. They've redone Skyrim so many times. Why not do it to New Vegas? That would be great. I feel like, it might be a little more difficult because of the FPS mechanics, but I think that would be so awesome.
But they never remastered Skyrim. They just upped the graphics. They didn't ever add content.
No, well, they did DLCs and stuff for it, but they have added stuff to it later on when they remastered it and did special editions,
it's
stuff
just,
like that.
If all you do is upgrade the graphics, that's not a remaster. That's like a remix.
yeah, I guess you're right. But they did, they have released several versions of it.
I know. Anyway, so yeah, I think Fallout 4's success was based on the quality of Fallout 3 and New Vegas. So the next Fallout game is going to be less successful because of the lower quality of Fallout 4. And since Bethesda's doing all their studios in-house now, I don't think they're going to give Obsidian a chance, at least not for a long time.
And I don't mind if they don't give Obsidian a chance, as long as they learn from New Vegas and learn from Obsidian. But I don't think they ever will. I honestly think that's too much to hope for, that they'll ever do a decent Fallout game again.
No, but I think the only chance they have of making a game even comparable to New Vegas is if they talk to the guys that made this game.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, there's no way they're ever gonna do as good as New Vegas again. I don't think.
But Obsidian is actually working on a new science fiction RPG.
I didn't know that.
So maybe even though they don't have the Fallout IP, they're still
maybe they could
people.
Still make some good games. Yeah, that'd be nice.
So I'm going to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, but I definitely think Bethesda will never be able to return to the heights of New Vegas again. Ever. I have lost all hope from Bethesda You know, after they just released the Skyrim on Switch and crap like that, I've lost all hope for Bethesda, to be honest. And you can understand that, right?
Oh, definitely.
I just lost all hope.
Anyway, let's play these companion credits now.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have Aaron Kimball.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just broke down some of the information on these companions. We spent so long getting it. We have over 150.
Mm-hmm.
We're basically the Fallout companion master. Like Pokemon master.
Yeah. Oh my god, I think these be amazing loading screens.
Huh, you think so?
Yeah,
Kind
I
of
think
like
so.
the faction ones?
Yeah, and
Except they're kind of based to our playthrough, so I don't think I would do that.
I guess. But I don't know if people wanted them. That'd be really cool.
Oh, Carla, our one Latina.
Yeah, she's great. I like the way she looks. She looks really pretty.
Chris Saint.
Boone. Crackers.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Look how many Caucasians there are.
Dave Strider.
Time traveler.
Yeah. But yeah, we can just talk about the companions as they come up.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Easy
Pete.
Oh, crap. I made a mistake there.
Oh, did you? Okay. You could fix it. Oh my god, that's a terrifying picture. The Fiend Overlord.
Yeah, maybe I'll fix it. Those.
Yeah. Hope lies.
She was cool.
Yeah, I felt like she had such good personality, even though we only had one quest with her. I feel like the people who made her just had great personality.
I think what helps is the good voice acting, which Project Brazil also had.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. But yeah.
I didn't like that guy so much.
He was mean.
Kira was kind of mean too.
I love
was
her
cool
outfit, but only because I have a history with that outfit.
Yeah, you do.
Yes.
Nightkin.
Mm-hmm. It's too bad Oblivion will never run well on a computer. That's where that outfit was from.
I know. He told me several times every time it comes up.
I'm sorry, okay?
Santa. It's Santa.
Yeah.
Oh, Niner.
Yep.
Oh, Raquel, she's our only Asian. Oh, and, this is a guy that Danny Trejo voiced, Raul.
Mm-hmm.
Red Lucy. Gas.
Is Niner actually bi? Like, does he ever say anything about a man?
He hits on you no matter what gender you are.
Oh, okay, cool.
More religion. More garbage gurus.
Man, the guys get all the cool outfits. Like, the female ones are just kind of revealing. Yeah. Excuse me.
Oh, Veronica. Willow!
I like that outfit on Willow, though. It looks great.
Yeah,
on
that was
her.
really the best one for her.
Mm-hmm. Ah, Naxmander.
Former anti-gravity technician.
Mm-hmm.
The other Ares.
Yeah.
Don't kill us.
Mm-hmm. Ah, Naxmander. Love is dead. Poor guy.
Kai's
Mm-hmm.
Our lobotomites.
Mm-hmm.
Our sister, Mandy.
Yep. I forgot about that. You surprised me with that, like, in the beginning of the playthrough.
Yep.
Wow. That was a long time ago.
We're definitely getting into our robots now.
Mm-hmm. That was my favorite outfit in the entire game, and we didn't even get it until near the end.
Mr. House, Autocrat. Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, turns out, you know how we said our character had multiple personality disorder? Brother.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that's not what it's called anymore.
It's called dissociative identity disorder, right?
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah. Because they've learned more about the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't
That's
they don't think it's necessarily multiple personalities, but rather like fragmented ones.
Yes.
Robodog.
Yep. All of our robots.
Yep.
It's so sad.
Why?
We've been doing this for years. It's the end.
Was it 2 or 3 years?
3.
3, really?
Almost 3.
Wait. No, because we've had 3 Christmases. We had the first one where we got fake Santa. We had the second one where we went back to visit Santa. We had the slave fight. And then the third one, we just skipped it because we were so close to being done, because that was only like a month ago.
Yeah. It still hasn't been quite 3 years. We started in the summer.
Yeah, but we had 3 Christmases.
Yeah. But yeah, almost 3 whole years.
Look at all of our robots.
Yeah,
we
wow.
have so many junk bots. We worked so hard to get all these guys.
Yep.
I like the idea of like all of our robots creating just like a robot city.
Mm-hmm.
Bootleg. That's from Doctor Who.
Yeah, I know.
She was cool. Very creative companion.
Yeah, I'm glad that Cole picked her. Remember?
What? Oh, for the Yes Ma'am.
Yeah.
Mr. Gutsy, Mr. Handy, and Mr. Orderly. So we have all of them except for the Miss Nanny that was at Fallout 4. So incomplete collection.
Yeah.
Ovenbot. Good boy.
Yep. You know, I know we don't talk much about our personal
Star
life,
Wars.
but our lives have changed so much since we started this.
Oh yeah. Viewers, I'm not sure if you're aware, but when we started, like, we were literally just like on opposite sides of the country. We had met online via a webcomic that we really like called Homestuck. But we thought about doing this. I talked about it a lot. One day we just kind of decided to do it. We used a Skype connection or some recording software I set up. I built a computer for this. And we started doing the series. Now, if you watch the series from the beginning, you'll know like we have really learned a lot when it comes to audio quality.
Yeah.
I am so sorry to our early viewers.
But yeah.
But yeah, through doing this for years and years, we've just we've gotten closer. Originally, we were friends, then we were best friends, and then we became Postle Q. And for those of you who don't know that, in the 1960s, when they needed to create a term for what do you call a couple that's living together, but they're not actually dating or married, like what is that? The government decided we'll call them people of people of P-O-S-S. People of opposite gender. I don't want to say it. Yeah. People of opposite gender in same living quarters. There you go. Postle Q. Oh, we got our animals.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's what we became, and then eventually we started officially being together.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know if any of you have ever done a long distance relationship. Like we're recording in the same area now. We live together. But this playthrough, I think, has been like an adventure that we were able to do every week. It's something I think, I won't want to say kept us together because I don't want to say like we needed this, but it definitely helped. Like just having something to do together, like not just something to do, but this is just a really fun experience we were able to have together.
Yeah, and it was a commitment to do the whole series, and we've been doing this for years now, and now our commitment, it's just like insane. Like we've been doing this for so long, and now we're literally living together.
Yeah. Since YouTube is dying and pretty much they just recently changed their demonetization settings so that now you have to literally have like a minimum number of like thousands of views and subscribers before you can even make money. It's not going to be long before most of us little guys just aren't even eligible to make money anymore. So I'm really not, I don't have any plans on starting anything new on this channel. I really like those documentaries, but they're just so time consuming to make and no one cares about them, and you get copyrighted, and it's just not
worth it.
Here we have all of the mod authors. Well, not all. Okay, this is by no means a comprehensive list. I just tried my best because
Well, I
this
thought
game.
you have a document with all of them and had author for almost all of them on
Yeah,
the
you can
document?
find that. You can find that in the description. I'll leave a link.
Okay.
But I tried to put it in here because this game wouldn't have been nearly as great if it wasn't for all these people and so many more. This is barely scraping the bucket or whatever, however that expression goes.
Yep. It's crazy.
But yeah, so we don't have any immediate plans in the future for the YouTube channel. I'll keep it open, like past stuff open, for you guys to watch at your leisure. For those of you who weren't able to watch every episode, you can go back and watch them.
And if anything new comes out that we'd be really interested in doing together just for us, we might do it, but...
Yeah, I mean, off the off chance Project Brazil, New California, or Frontier ever get released. But...
yeah, or something like that, yeah.
Or, I mean, we're actually working on a mobile game right now called, what do you want to say?
Starlings?
Yeah. So, we're actually working on that, so whenever it gets to a place where we can release it on Android, we will probably end up posting a trailer or something for it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just in case you guys didn't know, we also are our own indie developers, the two of us.
Yeah.
In our free time.
Yeah, we're just starting, but...
yeah. But it's a goal of ours. It's something we want to do together, so...
And, I'm still gonna miss this, though.
Yeah,
But-
I will too.
We record 3 of these episodes a week, though, so we will have 3 hours a week more to devote to the game.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm just sad, though, that I can't make more of those documentaries. I had so much fun doing it. I wish...
Yeah, and I know you had ideas to do it for other games and other stuff, and
Yeah.
it would have been amazing.
It's just, if we lived in a different world with different copyright laws, like, I might have been able to make it 10 years ago. But the way corporations are taking over these days, good luck with that. Like, you can't even make a Mario video without getting sued these days from Nintendo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to do one on Mario. I think a Pokemon one with like alternate dimensions would be cool. I think Borderlands could have a really good one, because Borderlands isn't like the game doesn't have that much story, but the backstory and the whole, like, how the corporations took over the central government, I'd love to do one over that.
Yeah, plus it'd be really nice to be able to hear all the dialogue from all the characters.
True. What's another good one? I already did BioShock. That was actually a really good one. Sonic, I guess.
Nah.
Homestuck. I don't even know what I would do for Homestuck. It's just too complicated.
Yep.
So, this is it.
Yep.
This is the last recording that we're planning on doing for Mod Fallout.
Yeah, it is.
I really appreciate you doing this with me, Kira. I know
it was a lot of fun, and it was a huge part of both of our lives for quite a few years. So, yeah, it's sad to see it go.
So now we get to do the genocide route, right?
Very funny.
Undertale reference. Anyway, so I really appreciate you doing this with me.
I had a lot of fun doing it with you.
And viewers, I really appreciate all of you who have stuck through this with me. With us, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you stick around on the channel, but like I said, we don't have anything really going on. If you ever want to chat, just leave a comment. My email can be found somewhere on the channel.
I'll respond to any comments as well if anyone wants to talk to me.
If you remember.
No, I will.
Okay.
I will.
Okay. Well, this is Super Modded Fallout. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.